Hello and welcome to Bookish Corner of the Internet. My name's Harriet. Today I'm going to be doing my spoiler-free review for Maybe in Another Life by Jenkins Reid. Now this is not the first book by any means that I've read by this author. I've read quite a lot of their works and I've really enjoyed them in the past, so I figured I'd pick this up and give it a little go because I saw it in Waterstones and I actually really liked the front cover, so I did fall to that. Again, I do tend to judge books based on their cover before I read them, of course. But it sounded like a really interesting concept, so I'm going to tell you what it's about and then I'll let you know my thoughts. So in this book we are following a 29-year-old called Hannah, and it's following two different ways that her life could have gone. So there are just the two, so it doesn't get too confusing. And basically what happens when she makes different decisions on this one night where she goes out, it's kind of like a homegoing party when she moves to LA, and it's following a decision that she makes on that night and how it changes the course of her life and the people that she meets. And it's basically going along with the concept of the idea that there is one person that you're supposed to be with in your life, whether it is fate or destiny or anything like that, and it's touching in on that. And just having those conversations about whether life is kind of planned out for us, if there's always going to be a path that we end up back on. So a very interesting concept, but a very light-hearted one at the same time. As always, Jenkins Reid is amazing at creating characters that feel super genuine and realistic. I will say that throughout the novel, I did feel like some of the conversations and the way that Hannah was talking did not feel like how I'd expect a 29-year-old to talk. It was more like a 21-year-old. You know, it's a very light-hearted and easy read, so I didn't let that get to me too much. I really enjoyed our main character actually. She was definitely very flawed and she had issues, but they were touched upon during the novel and she was kind of held accountable for those problems that she was having as well. It deals a lot with the importance of friendship and family, and how perhaps if you don't get on with your family, like your parents and things, as well as what a lot of other people do, that doesn't mean that you are a bad person or that they are bad people, but that is just the relationship you have with your parents. And I haven't really seen that in a novel before, so I really liked that that was in here. There are a couple of different romances in here and I actually did like every single one of them. I felt that they were dealt with very well. There were complications with one of Hannah's friends' relationships, so that was nice that we kind of had a different side to how relationships can be and how other people's lives are affected by things that happen as well, because that person comes up in both of the timelines and their story actually ends up in a different way to what you would expect in both ones. So very, very interesting. I really like the idea behind this. I found it super easy to read. This is probably the easiest one that I have read by Jenkins Reid, apart from maybe Daisy Jones and the Six, but this is written more like a book as opposed to Daisy Jones, which is more like an interview format. So overall, I did really enjoy this. It isn't as good as my favourite book by Reid, which is The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. I feel like I'm constantly comparing all of her works to that one book because I absolutely adored it, and it was actually the first one that I read by that author as well. I have yet to read one of her books that tops it, but this came quite close. I did really, really like this. I found it super easy to get through, really simple to read, but had really strong messages behind it, which is really good. It doesn't have simple conversations, but it's a simple book to read, if that makes sense. So if you're looking for something very fun to read for the summertime, this is absolutely perfect. It gives you all of those wonderful summery, lovey, romancy vibes. And I would say if you enjoyed Malibu Rising, you would probably really enjoy this book. Not that it is very similar, but I feel like the characters have the same kind of vibes as the ones in that book. So yeah, if you enjoyed that book, definitely pick this one up. Or if you're just looking for a nice romance, then check this out. I will pre-warn you, I did cry. It did get quite emotional towards the end there, but it's kind of like a sweeter, sad book as opposed to just being outright outrageously sad. So I didn't mind that it made me cry. It was quite a nice experience. So in the end, I ended up giving this a 4-star rating. It didn't quite get that 5 because it didn't have as much of a punch as what The Seven Husbands did, but I did really like it and I feel like I might be picking this up again in the future. I'm definitely going to give it to my mum for her to check out because I feel like she'll really enjoy reading this. Please do let me know down below if you read this book and what you thought to it. Also let me know what your favourite book by this author is if you've read a couple by them. But that is everything for me today. Thank you so much for watching and I will see you in my next video. Bye.